All right, welcome everybody to this week's showing of the 72 pitch LMP class here at Lanes Raceway. We got Jackson Daugherty on red, Nathaniel Burden on white, Glenn Burden on green, Gunnar Bender on orange. Right now we have the oval rolling. You see some of the rookie racers there. Got about 6 or 7 of them, I believe, over there racing. All right, everybody ready? All right, watch your lights. Here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Three strikes, you're out as usual. And then, of course, we just got done with the IndyCar. A lot of guys got some strategy coming up for the next time we run on the orange. So 2 cars involved in the incident there. Be white and orange going to take a strike. A beautiful day here in Livermore, Kentucky. I can definitely not complain. It's a good day to be on a hammock. About an hour behind schedule here, 5:24. But folks, we should be able to finish our last race pretty good, hopefully. So sorry about the delay. I think some of the guys might get something to go to eat. Got a little wreck there on the back stretch after this race, but let's wait and see. Orange and green receiving strikes here. It's orange's second strike, green's first. Back and forth beep noises from the 2 tracks. Get ready. Jackson Daugherty currently out in the lead, 15 total laps there on red lane, supporting a best lap 3.391, followed by Glenn Burden by 1 lap down, 3.403 best lap, averaging 3.54 median and 3.55 median between the 2. See a strike there for red. Everybody has strikes now. 2 strikes for orange lane. 54 seconds left to go in the heat, about halfway there. And another yellow flag here. Let's see who it is. Car on its lid. And that's going to be 2 strikes there on red lane. 2 strikes red, 2 strikes orange. Everybody else 1. Looks like Glenn's bounced another car off there. Let's see who this is. It's going to be green lane. So green lane going to get a strike too. So white lane, Nathaniel Burden looking pretty right now with 1 strike. Of course, last race there in the IndyCar, he had a lot of trouble with his IndyCar, so maybe make a comeback here in the 72 pitch. the last time we raced the 72 pitch, we can see the cars tremendously faster than they was before. Looks like they're running side by side with one another. So a lot more control it seems to be, and smoother the 72 pitch ratio is. I would think a gram would mean a whole lot more in these cars than previously stated. As we get a pause track here, car coming off. See who it is. As that'll be Jackson's third strike there. Nine seconds left to go. And a red flag rotation. Let's go over here to the strikes and clear those out. Here at the track mate, we can see 32 laps Nathaniel, 32 laps Glenn Burden, 31 laps Gunnar Vender, and 29 laps Jackson. Jackson leading for the most part of the whole race and then crashing out there at the end. Just how quick you can drop. Heading over to the oval, watch these guys race. We'll be right back with you. 6 seconds, we'll be back racing, moving over to the high banks here to get back to our main event here, the 72 pitch Pro Series here at Lanes Raceway, one of 3 series that we run here at Lanes Raceway in the fall series, our new fall series second race. So we see a little bit of an incident there up on the S turns, 2 cars getting involved in an incident there. White and blue going to take strikes. For those who don't know, 3 strikes, you're out for the heat. Get 3 of them, you set out. Right now, a very close race, 33, 33, 32, 30. Nathaniel, Glenn, Gunnar, and Jackson. 3 laps separates first to last. These guys driving these cars exceptionally better than the Indy cars. They don't have to blip on these cars. So the bodies are more square in the front and a lot more weight in the front. Kind of balance out flexy chassis here. Keeps the cars a lot lower to the ground, a little more low pro. So they're able to go across that blip and still kind of pull somewhat of a vacuum on the back side. Up there in the horseshoe portion of the track there, we see another car there to the high outside. I thought that was the car that wrecked. Maybe it wasn't. All right, looks like White going to take a strike here. It'll be White's second. Coming up next on the oval is our main event and probably our biggest series for Lanes Raceway in this series, and that is the late model series here at Lanes Raceway. Double the points. They get double the points. They've spent a little bit more money on those cars than they have any of the other cars in the class. So to get in it, we allow them to have double the points for that series. A big series to gain a lot of points in. Glenn Burton now taking over the lead, 44 laps. Jackson Daugherty now in third position as he moves up one. We get another flag on the play here. Looks to be Gunnar Bender's car coming off. He's going to be setting out the rest of the heat here. Minute and 10 seconds left in the heat. Get a yellow flag here. A car coming off underneath the bridge here. That looks to be Jackson Daugherty there off green lane, taking his first strike. Daniel Burton there, he's getting the car put back on. Another flag here on the play. It's like underneath the bridge, Dead Man's Bridge, or Dead Man's Corner, whichever way you want to look at it. Be another strike there for Jackson, his second. Right now, as it states, Glenn Burton out in the lead, 60 laps. Nathaniel Burton, 59. Jackson Daugherty, 57. 42 for Gunnar Benders. He crashed out this heat. And that's going to mark 3 strikes there for Jackson. So he's going to come out there. And that's a red flag rotation. So take a look here at the strikes. Clear those out. Jackson and Gunner both having some trouble there in that heat. Glenn Burden out in the lead, 66 total laps, averaging 33 a heat. Nathaniel Burden with 65, averaging 32.5 a heat. And Gunnar Bender, 42, averaging 21. Heading over here to the oval to watch the rookie race here. We'll be right back with you.
Race starts in 40 seconds. Race starts in 20 seconds.
All right, people, about 20 seconds late on there. I was fixing a car there. Purple going to receive a strike there. Well, it looks like Gunnar Bender is going to retire. He's having some troubles right now. He says his car ain't running right, but anyways, we'll see if he comes back. He may not. So get a hard hit coming off underneath the bridge here. For everybody wondering, the track is moving along, progressing nicely. The new track that we're trying to open up, lanes 2 is what we've kind of generically called it, but anyways, me and the wife, we've been hard at it there for, well, actually the past 3 weeks or so. So if you're excited about that, it's coming very soon. We're going to have the ceilings painted and the walls painted shortly. And we got a floor that we've already got purchased and ready to install as soon as that's done. When that happens, we've already got a lot of guys here at Lanes Raceway going to help us for free to move all the pinball machines, slot car tracks, and everything over. So we're pretty excited about that. And we're also very thankful that the guys are passionate enough to help us out. You know, not try to keep the expenses higher than it has to be by, you know, giving some free labor. So we do appreciate the guys for that. We're going to make a post on Facebook if you're interested and want to help. You're more than welcome to help. I think we're going to get some drinks and stuff for the guys so that they got plenty enough to drink and stay hydrated. Might even have a little special deal going on with Subway. I don't know. We might have some Subway sandwiches for some of the guys that come and help us that day, because it's a lot to move. You know, a lot of bolts to unbolt, a lot of laying on the ground time. But positive thing is both of these floors are really clean, so it doesn't really, it's not really nasty to lay down on the floor. It's not like working on cars or nothing, like real cars, big cars. So we're excited to get moved. We're excited to get the new Aton track up. Got a lot of things we're excited about. Right now, 17 seconds left to go. We got Glenn Bird in 94, Nathaniel Bird in 94, and Jackson Darty 87. Jackson able to get 1 lap up on Nathaniel and 2 laps up on Glenn so far. And he's going to receive a strike here. 1 strike is first. He was down on himself a little bit. So was Gunner a little bit earlier. But Jackson's trying to hold his head up, trying to fight back here and see if he can make a run for it. There's still a whole lot of racing left to go. Round robin 3 of 8 right now. He's just going to have to really focus in and hope for these guys to wreck a few times. Of course, I work with Jackson's cars, try to make them the best that they can be. He's kind of Lanes Raceway's kid here. We try to help him out with that kind of stuff. Now, everybody seems to be struggling a little bit when it comes to the IndyCar class, and we might have to take a look at that car. But right now, we'll head over to the track. Maybe see Glenn Bird at 99 laps, Nathaniel Bird at 99 laps, 92 laps for Jackson Darty, and Gunnar Venter 42 laps. And head over to the oval and see if they're racing. And it looks like they're on a break too. Well, we'll be right back with you. All right, about 5 seconds before we go back. Green racing round robin 4 of 8 here. You see them enjoying themselves on the Rookie Series race there. Going to move back over to the high banks here, our main event for the night, the 72 pitch as we go green racing. So we've got a car off in the donut portion of the track there. be one on purple lane here. Now, purple being that weird lane where you just really can't go hardcore a lot of the times. You just got to bide your time. Because as soon as you go across the start-finish line, it's like there's almost like something that makes the cars go airborne. I don't know what it is, but you just got to reel her back just a hair on purple when you're coming into Dead Man's Corner. Other than that, it's a pretty good fast lane to run. Not quite as fast as black, but it's fast nonetheless. Got a car off up in the horseshoe, it looks like. Right now, the lead is 103-103 for Glenn and Nathaniel. Jackson Darty, 95. Jackson there, I forgot to give him a strike. He's supposed to have a strike there. So right now it's just hanging on for Jackson if he can make it through the rest of this heat. Got a car come off in the donut, it looks like. Well, that one looks to be Glenn Burden. Take one on that. His first. Burden making sure his tires and braid are in good condition. It's always a good thing to do, kind of what Glenn's doing here after every time you wreck, just to make sure that your braids didn't do something funky on the wreck, or make sure that your tires don't have some dirt on it or something if you wrecked off the track. It's always good just to take a look at your car, make sure it's on the up and up. But Glenn Burden and Nathaniel Burden driving exceptionally here, 111 both between them. Jackson Darty dropping one lap so far, 102, so he's now 8 laps difference separating him. Still a lot of racing left to go. We'll see if he can bring it back. One minute left to go. Some really close racing here as they all three get reeled in, giving each other a little bit of space here. We'll see another car coming off here in the donut portion of the track. That's going to be Glenn Burden again. So Glenn now got 2 strikes there on black. I'm going to have to dial her back a little bit like Jackson is. Everybody giving each other a little bit of room here, looking good. Smooth transitions. A nice let off there from Glenn Burden, allowing Jackson to go by. Very, very tight, quick racing here. I love to see it. Nathaniel and Jackson neck and neck, looking good. As we get a red flag, rotation. So we take a look here at the strike. We'll go ahead and clear those out. Take a look at the track mate here. Jackson increasing his averages a little bit here. Now 125 to 131 of Glenn Burden, getting him within 6 laps and 8 laps to Nathaniel. So he was able to gain a lap there on average against Glenn and Nathaniel. So it's a little bit of a fight back from where he got knocked out there on red. Kind of talked to him, just you got to make those small incremental, just come up just what you can, just a little bit. A car length here, a car length there. but averaging 31.2 now in the 30s, Jackson. 32.8 on average for Glenn, and 33.2 on average for Nathaniel, with total laps ranging from Nathaniel Burden in first place, 133, Glenn Burden 131, and Jackson 125. Going to head over here to the oval, let you watch these rookies race their GRCs, and we'll be right back with you. All right, about 5 seconds before we go green racing here. 4 red lights dropping out to green, round robin 5 of 8. This one, and 2 more, or 3 more, sorry. Right now, Nathaniel Burden putting in impressive times, 3.555 trips there for first place. Jackson Doherty second to him, 3.53. And Glenn Burden turning the fastest lap time, 3.374 there on yellow. These guys, all 3 of them running really hard. It's all about just getting maybe like a car length or so a lap in hopes that you get an opportunity to make one pass. If you can do that, you stand a chance to increase your lead, as you all know how racing works here. But these guys are all 3 kind of somewhat staying spaced apart from one another. Take a look here underneath the bridge here. We see Glenn reaching in. Looks like 1 car involved in the incident there. Purple lane. Purple gonna take it. I appreciate Glenn showing me the car. One of the only guys that does that. But I appreciate it. Makes it where I don't have to headhunt. Minute 15 seconds left to go. Nathaniel Burden there taking a hit. It's going to help Glenn gain a little bit of perspective here as we see Glenn there on yellow lane. Now just a few car lengths separating him from gaining a lap up and getting back what he lost from a wreck previously. And that's what it boils down to, just a little give and take here, and hopefully people give you room to make that pass to get what you need out of it. Jackson Doherty, of course, down there on black lane running at 3.323. Everybody in the 3.3, so we're talking about hundredths of a second difference in medians. It's all going to boil down to who can keep their cool and not wreck on this heat. Other than that, if everybody keeps their medians about the same, there's not going to be a lot of change take place here. And so we've got a car that come off the track there. Strike there on black lane. You got to commend Jackson for sticking it out even after a wreck out and trying to fight his way back, and still keeping up very competitive laps here. 21, 21, 22. Glenn Burden, of course, turning 22 there on yellow. But nonetheless, I mean, he's basically lost a lap here, so that puts him somewhere in a respective about 7 laps. So, you know, he's still got a chance at it, but he's going to need some people to have a little bit of misfortune, it looks like here. But all these guys kind of gripped in, locked in. Their car's running really, really well. When you have misfortune like that at the very beginning, trying to get the feel of your car, sometimes it does get a little bit of drama ensued here. Jackson coming fresh off of an E here, complaining about being a little bit tired. I think he's coming above that now, and he's starting to make a little bit of moves where he's not so tired. He's more focused now. We can see his head movement here where he's kind of got his eyes on the prize here. But it looks like he might have got involved there in a little bit of a tussle there on black. But he's still in it. That's his second strike here. He's got one more to go. As long as he can keep his head about him till the end of the heat, he can recoup later on yellow. Yellow seems to be a fast lane, so it's survival now for the next 8 seconds. And of course, I'm talking a lot about Jackson, but I work on his cars. We try to keep him running really good here at Lanes Raceway. He's the kid for Lanes Raceway currently, so we want to make sure that he keeps his focus and learns to be bulletproof out there, I guess you could say. All right, so we'll head over here to the track, mate. We'll take a look. Nathaniel Burden, 1.67 total laps, averaging 33.4. Not a lot of change there. Glenn Burden, 33.2 on average. Not a lot of change there. 167. Glenn was actually able to get it within 1 lap to Nathaniel. Not a lot of change with Jackson either. He only dropped down 0.1 on his average, so not too bad there. 158. Still a lot of racing. Just needs a couple wrecks to be able to make that back up. Actually running an impressive black lane so far, the fastest 33 laps turned there on black lane compared to Glenn Burden. So if he keeps this trend up, what we're seeing here is he'll start gaining these laps. So we technically can count that as a gain lap. I'm going to see a really, really, really close finish here. And that's what we always like to see here at Lanes Raceway. Right now, 167 Nathaniel, 166 Glenn Burden, 158 Jackson. Of course, Gunner retiring out. So I'm excited to see what's going to end up being. I think it's going to be really close towards the end. Minute and 41 seconds. I'll take you over to Oval and let you watch the rookies do a little bit of rookie GRC racing. We'll be right back with you.
Race starts in 5 seconds. Get ready.
All right, folks, I'm a little late. All right, we're back. Okay. Let me see if I'm back. Something sounds like we might be off here a little bit. Maybe the music ended there. Let me start another music here. Make sure we don't have anything coming through. All right, so we're back. Just had to show Jackson a little bit there on how to check a track in between heats to help him out. So the track gets rolled up from time to time, wrecks and other stuffs that happen. And when that takes place, it'll start bubbling up the track. And, you know, this track's glued down with like a rubberized type glue. But if you can get your head at a certain angle, you can, sorry, I'm out of breath, trying to run back over here. I'm out of shape, folks. but you can take the roller and roll it back flat, and that'll help your car stay level and true, and it's just more predictable trigger control. You can be a lot faster. And yellow was a hard one to show him because yellow's been running fast. It's really smooth. We did find one spot that was kind of lifted, kind of showed him how to use his eyes to be able to see the track, to be able to roll it out if he's got an issue. Now I suggest this for every racer, that during the heat, if you're doing nothing, there's something you could be doing, and that's just one of the big things that I like to do, is just make sure that my lane's good. It's a little side-by-side action between three racers there. Something had to give. We'll see who's going to take a strike here. Halfway through the heat here, this will be our first strike, or second strike, and that's going to go on yellow. So Nathaniel and Jackson right now currently have strikes. All three of these guys running really, really good. Be a lot closer of a race if Jackson didn't end up being out for two of the heats. He was out for like 7 seconds in one, and I think 14 seconds for the other, but he still reeled it back in quite a bit. He's now within 9 laps of Glenn Burden, and that's kind of fluctuated from like 6 laps at best all the way to now currently about 9 laps separating the racer. There's still 2 heats left to go, and it's just really going to boil down to whether or not these racers stay on the track. So, got to get those laps when you can. We're seeing about a 1/10 of a second gain for Jackson right now from yellow. So 3.37 to the highest of the thing, 3.5 median, and 3.4 for Glenn Burden. So he is making some progress to try to get a couple of those laps and make it a little bit closer. But now, after taking his second strike here, he's probably going to have to dial it back and save for another lane, unless he wants to push the subject. But either way, right now he's looking at 8 laps separating, turning 25 Nathaniel, 26 Jackson, 27 Glenn. Glenn running an exceptionally good orange lane here. So they're not making it easy on Jackson to make it come back, but this race in general, just didn't want Jackson giving up on it just because he got out on one heat. There's always a chance that you can make yourself better just by pushing it a little bit, but not too much. Staying within the car's means and what the car can do. I think he's doing a good job of that. As we see a little pass here in a red flag rotation, he was able to keep the car on the track and not wreck out. Save it for another day, as they say. So we'll go ahead and clear that out. He's in the clear, and we can take a look here at the track mate. He was 31.7 on average last heat, now 31.8. And I know a lot of you saying, well, why are we focusing so much on Jackson? Well, just because he was kind of down on himself at the beginning. We already had Gunner. He got down on himself. He's out of the race. We don't want to see people getting out of the races. We want to see people getting themselves better. And I think Jackson's proven that. He got an extra lap there on blue lane than anybody else. Now, he lost a couple laps there on yellow to Glenn Burden. Yellow is one of Glenn's better heats for sure. But nonetheless, he still got a 0.1 gain on his average. Now, he's a couple laps down on average at 191, so he's got it within 8 laps of Nathaniel Burden. And he's got it 10 laps separates him from the lead. So he just needs a little bit of luck. 2 more round-robin heats to go. It's still anybody's ball game. Keep the pressure high, I always say, but within your own means and keep your own pace really high. And I think you'll do fine. Anyways, minute and 40 seconds. Going to have a talk here with Jackson. I'll be right back with you. All right, 5 seconds. The rookie series over with. I don't know if you guys caught the pictures being taken there, but we're now in round robin 7 of 8 here for the 72 pitch, and it's bowling up to be a pretty interesting little tight race between these three: Glenn Burden, Nathaniel Burden, and Jackson Daugherty. Glenn and Nathaniel have been back and forth with each other all race long. Glenn's coming into his own here in the past 2 heats, just taking over the lead, just walking people. Jackson, he's been hanging on there, fluctuating anywhere from 5 to 6 laps, all the way up to 8 or 9 laps difference from second place. But anywho, we got our first incident here. So yellow and white. So that's going to be Jackson taking a strike here. But very, very close racing here. Everybody's got good cars here for sure. All the medians, look at this, 3.57, 3.51, 3.54. These guys are just neck and neck with each other. Nobody giving an inch. And so we got something going on there on Orange Lane, causing that car to pop out. It's the second time I've seen it. We got a yellow flag here from underneath the bridge. I believe that's probably Jackson again. Yep, that looks to be Jackson there with another strike here. Not in a real good position here with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go in the heat. He's going to have to survive the rest of this heat here and just not wreck. Put her on slow sensitivity and cruise if there's any chance of getting it. Because he's basically, he's hoping somebody wrecks out here at this point. That's where he's at. But he's not. He's now 10 laps down from Nathaniel. Lost 2 laps there. And he's about 12 laps down from Glenn. So he needs to see a wreck out if he's going to make it come up. But nonetheless, still driving decently here as his car does the same thing there on orange coming out of the horseshoe. It's almost like it just can't feed itself back too quick on the trigger coming out of the horseshoe. But that's the 3rd time in a row that's happened. He saved himself a strike there by reaching out and grabbing his car. And sometimes that's what you got to do to stay alive. He just needs to stay alive for another minute, and it'll all boil down to the last heat. And maybe he get a little luck, and his tides will change. At any moment, tides can change. As his car comes out again, is he going to grab it? Oh, he hit the button. So that'll be his 3rd strike. I wish he would have put it back on the track. Nonetheless, that's 3 strikes for Jackson. And he's going to be setting out here. .26 seconds left to go, and we got a close race. Glenn and Nathaniel, 1 lap separating these two, and we see Nathaniel with an advantage on lap lead to 30 to 29. Now they're 1 separate. He's going to have to make a full lap turnaround to catch back up to Glenn, so he's going to have to push it here. He's got 9 seconds to do it in. Let's see if he can do it. He's going to have to hammer this hog home. 3 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. What a close race between Glenn and Nathaniel. Beautiful racing out there. 134, 134. He at least got it back to where it looks like it's a tie at the very least. Glenn Burden going to take this one by about 3/4 of a lap, but both of them averaging 33.4, 33.4. Glenn Burden's going to bring us home. Nathaniel Burden there, 2:34. Jackson Daugherty there in 3rd place with 2:04. And Gunnar Bender, of course, dropping out of the race after the 2nd heat with 42 total laps. Go over and clear these strikes here. All right, folks. That's it for the 72 pitch. There's my wife. She's fixing to get the pictures of the racers there. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Glenn, Nathaniel, and Jackson. Oh, 1 more heat? I thought it was the 8th heat. Oh my, it's boiling down to something, folks. I about ended this too soon. I let my eyes cross me up. Anyways, we got 1 more heat, so I'm excited to see 1 more heat. Nathaniel and Glenn, what separates them is literally what you're looking at right there at the line. 140 before we get this thing started. Sorry, folks. I don't know what I was thinking. Minute 30 seconds. I'll be right back with you. All right, folks, 4 red lights dropping out to green, our final heat here. So we get a yellow flag up on top. This will be Jackson Darty's car coming off again here. Struggling here towards the end. 1 second, folks. So right now we got Glenn and Nathaniel tied up, 235, 235. Of course, we see Nathaniel just now crossing that line where it's a half a lap separating these two. We got a minute and 57 seconds. One of these guys is going to bring home this win. So that's all going to boil down to that median lap time too. We won't get a median until after 2 laps. Now coming up after this race is a big one here. Late model series here at Lanes Raceway with the fast gear ratios, 1027, 48 pitch stomp motors here at Lanes Raceway. Going to be really exciting. A lot of beating, a lot of banging, a lot of oval action. Going to take a small little break. I got to change some cameras around, and then we're going to jump right into it, folks. Have us a good old time. So we got a little bit of a yellow flag here. Going to look over at cam 2, and it looks like we got a Nathaniel come off this time. Nathaniel been keeping his car on a lot this series. Suffered a little bit there on the open wheel. But Nathaniel now needing Glenn to have a little bit of an incident here as he lost about, I would say, probably 30 or so car lengths there, where he's going to have to push it. And as we can see, his median's about 0.7 of a second better than Glenn Burden's. Jackson Darty somewhere in the middle there. As the median's now at level out, now Nathaniel's median's tied dead up with Glenn Burden's at 258, 258. Everybody kind of equalizing out here a little bit. Jackson Darty there on white lane turning a 3.60, just 0.02 of a second different between the 358s of Nathaniel and Glenn. Now 1/100th of a second faster than both Glenn and Nathaniel there on white lane as he cranks up. 56, 57, 58. Folks, it would take 100 laps for somebody to get a lap. These guys are so in tune right now. Now back 56, 55, 55, 56, 56, 55. The medians were so good. All these guys running exceptionally well here. as we see two guys get into a little tussle there. That's just good racing, folks. That's just good racing. Heading over to the high banks, we can see red and white going to take one on this one. So now Glenn's had his wreck, and that's giving Nathaniel just a little bit of leeway here. Puts them both on the same lap with 38 seconds left to go. Nathaniel's going to have to get a pretty good boost here. He's going to have to get all the way around the track and then pass Glenn to take over that first place with 27 seconds left to go. Is it possible? We see a little bit of a touch. Who was it? Who was it that came off there? Somebody. Let's take a look here at the Cam 2. Cam 2 shows it to be Jackson. Jackson there going to take his third strike. So now it's bowling down to Glenn and Nathaniel, literally about where they was left off before here. Oh, as we see, Nathaniel was also involved in an incident there. Nathaniel's going to take his second strike, and it's really just going to boil down to Nathaniel going to have to push hard, even though he cannot with two strikes. He's going to have to make a shot at it. If he doesn't push, he's lost already. So he's got to make a push and get all the way around Glenn Burden. And Glenn, he's hard on that red lane. So we see Glenn coming off. Oh my, 12 seconds left to go. They're right there neck and neck with each other. Glenn Burden going to take his second strike. It's two strikes, two strikes. What's it going to look like going into donut with these two? It's anybody's guess. So they are tied up here with 14 seconds left to go, and both of them with a median of 3.5, 3.56. I mean, these dudes are, it's like they're running the same lap. Best lap 3.405 Glenn, a little bit better than Nathaniel at a 3.449. This is negligible, though. Negligible. These boys are going to be side by side to the end. It's going to be who gets the coast. Eight seconds left to go. Probably the best finish we've seen here at Lanes Raceway. Neck and neck, side by side. Who will hold out? 1 second to go on a coast. Oh my! Nathaniel Burden's going to bring it home. Glenn Burden gives it up right there in the horseshoe. What a race, folks. What a race. Let's go ahead and clear these strikes out here. Head over to the track mate. You can see it. Nathaniel come all the way back from a 2-lap deficit at the beginning of the heat to taking it over right there at the end with a side-by-side duel-off race between him and Glenn Burden. Averaging 33.4 laps at 267 with his best lap turn on yellow with 35 total laps. Nathaniel Burden's going to bring home a victory. Glenn Burden there in second position, 33.2 on average with 266. His best lap turn there on both orange and yellow. And just had somebody exit out. Okay, I guess it's my wife. She's getting a little crazy here while I'm still trying to say stuff. But nonetheless, the 72 pitch race is over with, folks. That orange track is getting switched over to practice. Congratulations to Nathaniel Burden coming back, holding his grit, hanging in there on orange lane. It would have been down to the coast there on the back stretch. I know you guys seen it. What a great ending for that race. And a good comeback for Jackson Darty, as he didn't give up after wrecking out with 14 or 15 seconds. He brought it back within 10 laps up there until he ended up wrecking out there towards the end. Nonetheless, good racing between all three of these guys. What a race that was. Exciting, just down to 4 people, and what a race that it developed into being. Now that's the end of the 72 pitch here at Lanes Raceway. Coming up next on the oval is going to be the late model series here at Lanes Raceway with those beautiful late models, shining bodies, big tires, Hoosiers, front and back. These guys got them tuned up and they're ready this week. I've heard from everybody that's been practicing on it. They're ready for this upcoming race. So give us just a few moments. We'll be coming live at you on the oval track coming up next here at Lanes Raceway. God bless you guys for watching the 72 pitch race here at Lanes Raceway, and we'll see you on the next one.